Minnesota Lynx versus the Dallas Wings, guys. And in this game, I was just like, interesting. Interesting. It was a packed arena. It was officially sold out. And here's the deal. Also, I did see some like photos being shared of like a section on in the Dallas arena looking empty. Officially, the game was sold out. If you Google it, it says that that College Park Center, the place that the Atlanta or the Dallas Wings play in, it looks like they have a capacity of 7,000. However, a sold out game for the Dallas Wings is 6,251. So yeah, technically it was sold out. It was sold out. Anyway, let's talk about this game because this game was all about two players and all about a very confusing Dallas Wings. Anyway, let's talk about the Minnesota Lynx because the Minnesota Lynx they dominated, guys. This was actually a very, very close game throughout, right? Very, very close game. This was one of those things where, the lights were very bright. The crowd was super loud. This was Paige Bueckers finally in a WNBA uniform during the regular season. But by the time we got to the end of the night, nobody was really talking about the rookie anymore. They were talking about Napheesa Collier, who was a certified bucket, basically, who walked into Arlington and was like, absolutely, I'm taking this over. Y'all forgot about me in the offseason, but I'm letting you know that I'm about to cook right now. I'm about to cook. And it wasn't just her, it was Courtney Williams as well. So let's get into it. So first up, I do want to just mention that Paige did make the first basket for the for the Dallas Wings. She kind of got to the rim. She missed the shot, got her own rebound, got the putback, and it was like, okay, great. Great hustle play for her. And throughout the game, I thought she had like sparks of like, okay, that's pretty good, Ultimately, she finished with 10 points, 3 of 10 from the field, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block, 3 fouls and 2 turnovers. Here's the deal. For Paige, I wasn't expecting her to have, honestly, none of the rookies was I expecting to have that great of a game, which is why I was so thoroughly impressed with Kiki Erupted and Sonia Citron and whatnot. For Paige, I was like, just go out there and do something. Just, show some confidence and whatnot. And yeah, she missed quite a bit of shots. Like when we talk about Paige, we think about efficient Paige. We think about the Paige Bueckers who is shooting over 50% from the field. Like the Paige who was very selective in her shot and whatnot. And yeah, she was missing shots. Is it the biggest of deals? I would say no, because again, rookie first game. I also don't like the way the Dallas Wings played, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. I don't think they really have a strategy, the Dallas Wings. so yeah. Anyway, so this game. Actually, let's talk about the Minnesota Lynx first, then we'll talk about the Dallas Wings. This Minnesota Lynx team is a team that is just. They pros. They are pros, guys. You have a team that actually is missing some of their starters. Yeah. We have 2 players who would normally start for this team that was not even playing, right? Not even playing. You got Atlanta Smith and you had and you had Kayla McBride. There we go. You had both of those players that they didn't even play in that game. So you had 2 starters that were not there. You insert Carly Samuelson into the starting lineup. You insert Jessica Shepard into the starting lineup. And even without your normal starting 5 from last year, you dominate, guys. You dominate. Again, primarily in that second half, but we'll talk about that. Anyway, in this game, we saw Napheesa Collier remind us that she's Napheesa Collier. Phee can do whatever she wants on a basketball court, and she showed us that. You want 3-point shots? Boom, she got that. You want buckets at the rim? Boom, she got that. You want somebody who's perfect from the free throw line? Boom, she got that. She could do just about everything there was to do, and she did it very, very well. 12 of 21 from the field. She ultimately finished with 34 points for Napheesa Collier. And those 34 points, it was pretty simple, guys. Pretty simple. the fadeaway that Napheesa Collier has is just, it's fire, right? 20 of the points that she had, I believe, came in the second half. And she just mid-range clinic. But when we talk about mid-range shots, not only does the Minnesota Lynx have a great mid-range shooter in Napheesa Collier, you also have the mid-range assassin named Courtney Williams, who, guys, the game was actually very, very close in the third quarter, right? This was a neck and neck type of game, right? Neck and neck type of game, right? We come into the third quarter, we're all tied up, 46-46, okay? Then someone starts to wake up, and that person is Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams proceeds to take over this game in the third quarter. Whether it was Courtney going for a mid-range jumper, whether that was Courtney getting a hockey assist, passing it to somebody who passes to somebody else who scores, or getting a regular assist herself, right? Courtney Williams, I know in the past she was like a combo guard, more of like a shooting guard type of player, like, or a small forward or something like that. She wasn't a point guard. And then when she went to the Chicago Sky, she got inserted more into that point guard role. And then she was kind of like, hey, I'm not really a point guard. Don't really call me a point guard. And then she went to the Minnesota Lynx, and yeah, she's a point guard, and she's very, very good at it. The thing I love about Courtney Williams is that she just plays within herself. She took over, guys. 10 of 15 from the field. Majority of those shots were mid-range buckets. And it was fun. 25 points for her. 9 assists, almost a double-double. Like, I wish she would have got that, Sometimes, every now and then, sometimes I do wish that hockey assists were like actual assists. Anyway. Or like they counted that stat line, because Courtney Williams was fire. Like, she was so good. So good. So of course, you got Napheesa Collier, of course. And then you got Courtney Williams too. Oh, man. Wow. Shout out to Shamika for this being your 4th year of channel membership. Salute to you. Thank you. Says the Phee and Court duo isn't fair. Like, dog, they're fun to see. They're fun to watch. They are fun to watch. And like, yeah, man. Oh, I had a graphic for Courtney. Yeah, Courtney Williams was amazing. She was absolutely amazing in this game. And here's the thing. That's not it. When we talk about this Minnesota Lynx team, yeah, I've been talking a whole lot about Napheesa Collier. I've been talking a whole lot about Courtney Williams because they play great. But also, Jessica freaking Shepard also had a masterful game. Once again, we are talking about players who make a huge impact. Some of y'all may have forgotten about Jessica Shepard. Jessica Shepard, she did sit out of the 2024 season last year, so she didn't play in the WNBA last season. But she did play with the Minnesota Lynx. Before that, like, I believe her entire WNBA career has been with the Minnesota Lynx. And so, yeah, some people may have forgotten about her, but in the preseason, she was showing people that, hey, I still got this. I'm about to rock out. I'm about to rock out with my team. And I actually don't think that Jessica Shepard will be the starter once Alana Smith comes back. I actually don't. Now, some people think that Jessica Shepard will be the starter once Alana comes back. I don't think so. I think that Jessica Shepard will probably come off the bench. I think, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. All right. Actually, we got some super chats. Let's get to these. Taylor says, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, I love the vibes with Golden State Valkyries and was super happy with what KP did. She's been putting in work. She has. She stepped up big time. We're going to talk about her more in a sec. But yeah, she played a really good game, I would say. Stern, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, Dallas played the statue offense. Dallas just overall wasn't good. No, scratch that. No, this team was good. They were good, and they held on for dear life until the third quarter. And it was just clear who the better team was. It was clear who the more connected team was. It was clear who the more versatile team was, and it was the Minnesota Lynx. So yeah. Shay, thank you so much for the super chat. Says focus on the games and plays, not how players look. Thanks so much for that super chat. And yeah. I don't. Why are we paying attention to people's looks? Who cares? This is basketball. Okay, pay attention to how they play on the court. Yes. So listen to Shay. Listen to Shay. Focus on the games and the plays, not on players' looks. I don't know. Are people talking about looks in the chat? Anyway. Bad Karma says, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, can we talk about how bad NaLyssa Smith was? We'll talk about NaLyssa Smith in just a sec. But yeah, I do just want to finish up talking about. I do just want to finish up talking about the Minnesota Lynx. Again, Napheesa was great. Courtney was great. Jessica Shepard was great. I think I saw somebody in the chat mention Janelle McCarville, and I saw it, and then it just easily, like, it quickly went away. So whoever made that Janelle McCarville statement, I want to say shout out to you for being an OG WNBA fan. Janelle McCarville played for years with the Minnesota Lynx, and she was sort of like that. How do you explain Janelle McCarville? She was like a post player who was just like the ultimate scrappy player. Like, from the outset, you wouldn't think that necessarily she's that good, but she just found a way to score at times. She found a way to impact her team, and she was efficient. Janelle McCarville was a very, very, very efficient shooter in the W. I mean, I only remember her on the Minnesota Lynx. I don't know if Janelle McCarville played on another team. I can't remember if she played on another team, but McCarville was really, really cool. Like, I remember her as a player. And also, guys, she used to be she was a number one pick in the WNBA. Janelle McCarville is one of those players. Like, again, very, very undersized, scrappy, and just found a way to impact. So I don't know, whoever, I lost the comment, whoever mentioned Janelle McCarville. Shout out to you for being a a sort of OG fan. I just looked up Janelle McCarville. It looks like she played for the Liberty. Oh yeah, she did play for the Liberty. Yeah, I remember that. Said she also played for the Sting. I have zero memory of Janelle McCarville on the Sting. Anyway, let's go back to Jessica Shepard. I thought Jessica Shepard played really, really well. She, again, aggression, finding ways to impact the game, finding ways to score. 5 of 7 from the field, 15 points for her. She finished with 8 rebounds as well, 3 assists. Ultimately, she played great. Okay, so you got Napheesa Collier, played a really good game. You got Courtney Williams, played a really good game. Jessica Shepard, really, really, really good. And how about everybody else? Well, Bridget Carlton, she had an off night. Didn't matter because the rest of her teammates was doing their thing. So I'm not, and sometimes, Bridget Carlton can be sort of a streaky shooter at times. And so wasn't worried about that. Diamond Johnson, though, she came off the bench, and I was like, that's what you do, girl. That is what you do. I was about to say Janelle McCarville. Diamond Miller is one of those players who, as a rookie, she looked very, very promising. Last year, she took a step back. And, like, also, not all of that was necessarily her fault. But, like, anyway, step back last season. Now, this year, she's coming. She actually made some really, really, really good plays yesterday, and I'm excited about it. I thought she earned herself more time in the game because Cheryl Reeve is a great coach. Like, Cheryl Reeve was she put them out, put some of the bench players out to kind of test them and see how they do. Okay, what are you gonna do? You can earn more minutes, or you cannot earn more minutes. Am I not saying Diamond Miller? Like, says, you mean Miller? Yeah, I mean Diamond Miller. Did I not say that? Anyway, Diamond Miller, again, she played great. 4 for 5 from the field. She finished with 13 points. I liked her in this game. I thought, let's go. Let's show that aggression. Let's make an impact in this game. And she did. Natisha Hiedeman, normal Natisha Hiedeman. Got some minutes as well. Alyssa Peely, she got some minutes, but she didn't really do anything. And also she got cooked at times on defense. And I was like, come on, girl. Come on, girl. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. So the problem is there's so many names in my head because there is a Diamond Johnson and whatnot. But anyway, she's not on the team anyway. Sorry. Sometimes I will do that where I'm like, I'm thinking about one player, but then I'm saying someone else's name that's like that, is not them, but name is similar. Anyway, not Diamond Johnson, Diamond Miller. Thank you for that correction. Anyway, great game by the Minnesota Lynx. They're connected. They're a vet team. They're not flustered by the fact that they were tied up at halftime, right? They weren't worried about it because they had a player or players who could take over the game. They have 2 possible closers for the Minnesota Lynx. And we go from that to the Dallas Wings, where it's like, what's happening? What's happening with the Dallas Wings? Here's the deal. I think that Maddie Siegrist needs to get added to the starting lineup from the get-go. I'm gonna just say that. Okay. I think she should get added to the starting lineup. I am not a fan of the way the Dallas Wings played. Yes, there were sparks of like great play. Actually, like there were some moments where Paige made a really good move, or DiJonai, she had like this like spin move into a shot in the game, and I was like, oh, dog, that was fire, right? She had a 3-point shot and whatnot, and she had some good stuff in this game, and so there were times where I was like, oh, okay, DiJonai, you better do your thing, girl, right? There were sparks of like, oh, this is actually pretty good for the Dallas Wings, right? And then I was just like, what the heck, man? Like, this was here's the thing. This was the perfect game for the Dallas Wings. The reason why is because this is a team that is largely going to have a small lineup. Because I'm going to talk about Teaira McCowan in a second. And yes, she does need to eventually leave. So, anyway. I'm going to talk about her in a second. But this was probably the best team for Dallas to go against. Because when you think about the Dallas Wings, for the most part, the players who are going to get a lot of minutes in terms of that post position are going to be shorter post players, right? You got the likes of Myisha Hines-Allen. You got who's like 6'1". You got Nalissa Smith, 6'4", and you got Maddie Siegrist, who's 6'2". All these players are for the most part going to get a lot of minutes in that post position, right? Myisha Hines-Allen, Nalissa Smith, and Maddie Siegrist. Right? So those 3, for the most part, are going to primarily be your post players for this team. And because of the lack of height, starting off against the Minnesota Lynx team is actually really good because they also are a team that's not very tall in the post, right? At least right now, you got Napheesa Collier, who's 6'1". You got Jessica Shepard, who's 6'4", right? You got that's kind of it. Yeah, you slide in some other players and whatnot, but like for the most part, that's kind of it. You got Diamond Miller, 6'3", but this is a short team going against a short team. Yes, you have Teaira McCowan, but I'm taking Teaira McCowan out the equation for right now. So to me, I thought this was actually a really, really good game to actually start off with. So you can go against similar size players. Okay, and then I watched the game and I'm like, okay, all right, okay, nice move here and there. Okay. Interesting. And throughout the game, there were some times where I was like, oh, nice move, Myisha, nice job. Okay. You're making some stuff happen. DiJonai's making some stuff happen. Paige is making some stuff happen. Maddie Siegrist is making stuff happen. Arike is making some stuff happen. But overall, this was a team that didn't play together in this game. They didn't. When we look at Dallas and we compare them to the Lynx ultimately, they know each other from back to front. They know each other. 27 assists for the Minnesota Lynx, whereas the Dallas Wings only had 15 assists. And it just looked like, okay, give somebody the basketball and watch them work. Here's the deal. The Dallas Wings only have one closer. Only have one sort of big shot maker and taker, and that's Arike Ogunbowale. Arike Ogunbowale is awesome when she is on. She is awesome. This is someone who can hit some crazy, crazy shots that you like. That has no business going in. No business going in. But when she is off, it's not a pretty sight. Like it's not that great to see, right? Ultimately, Arike did score 16 points. She did. So yeah, sure. That's great. But she was 4 for 12 from the field. She was 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. And ultimately, guys, this team needed someone to put them on their back when they started to flounder in that second half. They started to get stagnant. The Lynx started to make a whole bunch of plays. And it was like, okay, well, who in the world is going to step up for the Dallas Wings? Who's going to step up? And I think that is still a question mark that they don't know yet. I don't think they know. In the event that Arike Ogunbowale can't get it done that night, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? Phee says Paige. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. From yesterday's game, nobody. It was Arike missing shots. It was DiJonai. I would say overall playing pretty efficient, but also missing shots. It was Paige Bueckers missing shots. And so where do you go? Who do you turn to? I don't know. They don't have an answer. I think that's the issue. They don't have a walking bucket outside of Arike. And if Arike is not efficient, I don't know. Right. And then you have Maddie Siegrist, who does need to be in the starting lineup. I'm just saying. I'm gonna keep saying it. Maddie Siegrist needs to be in the starting lineup for the Dallas Wings. Okay, I would say have NaLyssa Smith come off the bench, because NaLyssa Smith, she just she didn't really do anything on the court. Not really. She didn't really do anything. All right. So this is NaLyssa's moment to prove all the people wrong from last year. All the people who said, "Oh, NaLyssa isn't good" and whatnot. This is her year to prove all those people wrong. And she better get on that, because yesterday she ain't proved nothing. If anything, she proved a lot of those people right. Now, I know how good NaLyssa is. I saw her play her rookie year. She can play. She can ball in the WNBA. It's just that we got to see it. So for the time being, and honestly, I would say for the rest of the season, Maddie Siegrist needs to be starting over NaLyssa Smith. Now, NaLyssa probably won't like that, but hey, maybe that'll let her fire into her coming off the bench, right? So maybe that's the case. Okay, so we got that. Ty Harris, need to see more minutes from her, and that'll happen in the next game and the next game and the next game. We'll see more minutes from Ty Harris, because they need her. This team needs her. absolutely, they do need her. Anyway, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Teaira McCowan. Teaira McCowan in yesterday's game played 5 minutes off the bench. 5 minutes for Teaira McCowan. To put this in perspective, Teaira McCowan was, the number 3 pick in 2019. Number 3 pick. She was drafted to the Indiana Fever, and she was supposed to be like the wave of the future for that Indiana Fever team, right? The big post body, 6'7". She has a lot of size on her. She can move her weight around in the post, and she's gonna be the next star. Didn't happen, but she started a lot, right? She played several. She started several games over the years for the Indiana Fever, right? She played for 3 seasons with the Indiana Fever, and it was one of those things where you saw way more potential than what she showed on the court, right? And it felt like Indiana could never truly unlock what Teaira McCowan had the potential to do. Because again, big body, 6'7". She just needed to get a little stronger, significantly more stronger in the post, and she needed to improve her efficiency at the rim, right? And she needed to just improve her aggression overall on the court, because her efficiency is actually not bad. She's around. Historically, she's been around 55, 56, 57-ish percent from the field. So not bad. So she goes from playing around 20-ish minutes a game at Indiana. She ends up going over to Dallas. She plays for Indiana for 3 years, her first 3 years in the WNBA. Goes over to Dallas in her 4th year, and has been with Dallas ever since then. Ever since then, she's been with Dallas. And with Dallas, she's for the most part been a very, very consistent starter for this team, right? Last season, she started every game but one, and she averaged around 25 minutes a game. So she plays a lot of minutes. Now she averaged 11.7 points a game, 8.1 rebounds a game. So, not her potential, but also not horrible as well. Not bad. We go into this season. New head coach, Chris Koklanis is here, and he's trying to make a system. And in preseason, we saw Teaira McCowan, she's just looking really bad. Not good at all. Okay? And then we head into the first game, and Teaira McCowan has went from playing around 25 minutes a game to only playing 5 minutes in yesterday's game. 5 minutes. And I was like, okay. I mean, honestly, I probably would have played her not very many. I wouldn't have played her very much anyway, as well, if I was Chris, because ultimately, watching the Dallas Wings games for preseason, I didn't think she played worth of anything, to be honest with you. And the 5 minutes thing, I was just like, okay, well, maybe this is a sign, guys. Maybe this is a sign that Teaira McCowan may not be on the team for much longer. Maybe. Because remember, last year they had the trees. It was, Teaira McCowan, Kalani Brown, and they had other tall players as well. But those two were I would say the main two. And Dallas made a decision. Who you keeping? You gonna keep Teaira, or you gonna keep Kalani? Couldn't keep both. So Kalani's gone. Teaira is still with the team. Ultimately, this is a team that still does not know what they're doing, in my opinion. This is a team that I don't think they know what they're doing. So yes, sure, we could talk about that as a story, and yes, that is an interesting story. I don't think she's gonna stay on this team for much longer. I think by the time we head into All-Star Weekend, Teaira is gonna be gone, and I hope she goes to a team that will actually develop her. She's one of those players who still, even after being in the league for a long time, she hasn't, to me, totally got developed to the place that she could be. She just, in my opinion. Now, my opinion is worth not much, but that's my opinion. She needs to go to another team. She just needs to go to another team that will actually use her, that will try to develop her into the potential of what someone who's 6'7" can do on the court. So that's my thoughts there about Teaira McCowan. She's probably going to continue to not play very much. And you go from playing a lot of minutes to not really playing at all. And yes, you're not playing well, but still, as the psyche of a player, I'm pretty sure she's not happy about it. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's the Dallas Wings. They didn't look good offensively. I don't know. They had some stuff to work through. Though I have to say this, I have to give the biggest disclaimer when we're talking about this game. We're talking about some of the issues with the Dallas Wings. Keep in mind, guys, they played their first game, yes, against a shorter team, a shorter post team, definitely. But they played their first game against who I would consider the best defensive team last season. That was the Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx had some of the best defense in the league, and clearly it hasn't stopped. So while we can make think pieces around the Dallas Wings and talk about how bad they looked on offense and some of the mistakes they made and blah blah blah. We could talk about all that, but just keep in mind, do not make a mountain out of a molehill. This is just one game, and the thing that you all need to know is that this Lynx team is an exceptionally good defensive team. So you can't make it you can't make this the end all be all. You can't make this the end all be all. The Lynx, again, in my opinion, they were excellent on defense last year. One of the best, if not the best, defensive team. So yes, coaching, in my opinion, issue for Dallas. Yes, the personnel, the players who are starting, issue for Dallas. Yes, there's a lot of issues that Dallas has to work through. However, on top of that, they did play a really, really good defensive team. So keep that in mind. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right? But yeah, Maddie Secrets needs to be in the starting lineup. Nalissa Smith needs to come off the bench. And Nalissa, man, you got... Hey, you got to show people that last year was just a fluke. Okay, you got to show people that. All right, just saying. Anyway. Calix says Connecticut Sun was also one of the best defensive teams last season. Yeah, they were. Yeah. I wasn't. I was just talking about the Minnesota Lynx. Yeah, Connecticut was really good on defense as well. Anyway, all right. Yeah. So anyway, that's my thoughts there. Yeah, that's my overall thoughts for the Dallas Wings. They just they got a lot to work on. They have a whole lot to work on, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, that is the game that happened yesterday, where the Minnesota Lynx ultimately took down the Dallas Wings 99-84. Napheesa, Courtney Williams, Jessica Shepard, Diamond Miller, they all had really good games. This Minnesota Lynx team is very, very deep. And when they move the ball, they move it with purpose, and they are very successful. Arike Ogunbowale, led her side with 16 points, struggled in terms of shooting from the field. DiJonai had 15. There's potential for this Dallas Wings team. It's just they need to make some slightly different coaching decisions. They need to just slightly tweak their offense a little bit, change out their starting lineup, and maybe do a trade or two. But yeah, all is not lost for the Dallas Wings.